In this last and final episode of not only Rob Garland's interview, but also Give Back October, we talk about Rob's origin story, and it's not unlike many other origin stories. He found drones, he became obsessed, and he went on to do awesome things with them. I'll let Rob tell it in his own words, but I think it's worth watching, and I hope that you'll enjoy it. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you a man that needs introduction, but he should need no introduction. This is the one and the only Loco FPV, aka Rob. Hold on, Rob, what was your name again?
What?
Rob Garland. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Garland.
No introduction. What? Oh my God. Time out. No, I'm just kidding.
So,
retake, snap.
So, folks, and just to set the scene, Rob and I are good buddies. And Rob is one of the guys that has shepherded me through FPV. And he is very well known in this area for getting a lot of people started in FPV. And so I wanted to bring him on the show during Give Back October because his story is a good one. And I think that it needs to be heard. So Rob, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Michael Rollins Show, man.
The Michael Rollins Show. I am honored to be here, my friend. Honored to be here.
Well, thank you, sir. Did you think when we were sitting around talking to each other in 2016 that this conversation would be happening?
Not really. No, I really want the hype train videos to come back though.
You and Lou want the hype train.
If there's anybody on this channel that has not scrolled through Michael's videos and saw the hype train videos, I suggest you to stop everything, cut the video off that you're watching, come back to it now. Come back.
You gotta come back.
Go watch the hype train videos. They're hilarious. They're good stuff.
Well, the hype train videos were super fun. It is, interestingly enough, a lot of the hype train videos were based around drama in the hobby at the time, which seemed at the time like a lot of drama. And now it just seems like ridiculous. Like just no drama whatsoever. Like soft mounting was the first one.
The soft mounting with the oven mitts, soft mounting your controller had me floored for like 3 days, man. I was like, every time I saw an oven, I could be in Bed Bath & Beyond and see an oven mitt, and I would just start laughing uncontrollably. And people are looking like, what in the hell is wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
Like, you have no idea.
I'll put a link to some of the hype train videos down below. But so let me talk about you for a minute.
Okay.
So number one, if you have never seen one of Rob's flight edits, you need to go watch one. Because his flight edits are on par with some of the best. And not only is the flying good, but just your sense of style in your edit and the way that you put these things together. I still go back and watch your old videos, man. They're so good.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I haven't been very, very active on my channel here lately, just because I've been working so much and stuff like that. When I do get a chance to go out and fly, it's either like super windy and just, crazy conditions here on the coast. So
yeah. Well, and yeah, that's a good thing to point out is that we live in, you do most of your flying out over the ocean, don't you? Nowadays.
Yeah, we do like Chesapeake, and we'll go out to the oceanfront and stuff like that sometimes, once in a while.
Yeah. And then occasionally I hear sometimes you fly in the mountains.
I do. When we go up to a good friend of mine's parents have a house up in Wintergreen, so we'll go up there and rip some packs and hang out and get some hoopla action down at Devil's Backbones. That's always fun.
Very good, man. Well, we always start with the origin story. Tell me when you started in FPV and how it started. Like, when did you find this hobby?
So, back in late 2013, early 2014 or so, I have a good friend of mine. His name is Mike Dodd, and he posted an aerial photo on his Facebook page. And I was like scrolling through Facebook like we all do. I'm like, how in the world did he do this? Like, what what did he use? Like a pole with a camera? Like, what is going on? So I hit him up and I'm like, how did you do that? And he sent me a picture and a link to this little, it wasn't even the big Cyma. I think it was like the Cyma X5 at the time or something from Banggood. But it was like a little teeny one where it had like a little button on the remote control on the radio to where you can like hit the button to take a picture. And it just floored me. So I was like, I have to know everything I could possibly know about these things. And so I just went online and just started watching, looking up videos. Like I didn't even know what to look up at all. And I'm a computer guy, so it's like, I'm faithful to Google. So it's like, if your Google Kung Fu is good, you can find anything, right? So I'm like looking online for, whatever I could find. And then I found TBS. And I just started watching all the TBS videos. And I'm like, what in the world? This is crazy. So
what was the year?
That was like probably early 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was this before or after Trappy had flown Charlottesville?
Oh, that was way after. Oh, okay. No.
Because that's right.
Yeah. I think that was about around the time when he flew Charlottesville, but I didn't see that video. I saw a lot of the other videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where they were flying like the Brooklyn Bridge, but they were actually flying wings at some of the videos I was watching. But I was really intrigued by the TBS Discovery, and so I went and I had to get it. So I bought the frame, I got the arms, I had the flame wheel. I already had the flame wheel, so I already bought all that stuff. And I was like, all this stuff will go in this frame. Awesome. So I put it all together. We didn't have FPV. Me and Mike, we always got together and flew together, almost daily, weekly, whenever we could get together. And he was like just blown away by the things that I was doing. And I didn't understand why. I was like, I'm just flying this thing or whatever. He's like, man, that's crazy what you're doing, but I'm doing it all line of sight. We were flying out at the bay. I live like 2 blocks from the Chesapeake Bay. So it's like, went down, beautiful sunset. It was like, I don't know, mid-March, it's like early March. Flying over the bay, line of sight, completely lost orientation. Tanked my TBS in the bay. I'm throwing everything out of my pockets, running across the beach, like, oh my god! Like shit's just flying everywhere, And I'm like calling my wife. I'm like, you need to come down here. I threw this thing in the bay, and she's like, you're crazy. And I'm like, and I actually had people on the beach that were out there fishing, like waiting in the water with us, the frigid water. I mean, the water was cold.
Oh, it's cold in March.
Cold. So yeah, and it just kind of blew up from there. It just really did. Just after I tanked it, I looked at it and I was like, okay, I need to return to home. I need GPS. I need this to make everything to where I can just flip a switch and it comes back. And I basically rebuilt a whole nother Discovery.
Did you ever get that Discovery back?
I did not. It was funny. 3 years later, I found this guy. I was a manager at a tobacco store. And this guy does like underwater metal detecting. And he's like, yeah. He goes, you fly those drone things, right? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, well, one of them washed up like down the way, And I was like, did it look like this? And I'm showing him pictures, and he's like, it kind of looked like that. And I was like, oh my god, who is the guy that has this? I have to go see if it's mine. I just want the GoPro footage. Like the SD card still got to be good, maybe, hopefully.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, good times. It just blew up after that.
When did you get into FPV? Like, what was your first pair of goggles? What time frame did you start flying FPV?
So probably later, mid 2014. Mike died. He actually accidentally bought 2 pairs of what were they? Fat Shark teleporter V3s. And he brought a pair to my house. He's like, man, I accidentally like ordered twice, and do you want these? And I'm like, how much are they? And he's like, oh, they're like $125 or something. I was like, dude, I don't have that kind of money for this. I was like, this is, I got everything sunk into this thing. And he's like, oh, don't worry about it. It was my screw up. I want to see what you could do with them. And dude, after that, it was game on. It was game, and that's when I found Get FPV. I thought Get FPV was the only store out there for this stuff, so I had to buy Lumineer, Get FPV, everything.
Uh-huh.
It was horrible.
What was your first mini quad frame?
My first mini quad was the QAV 250,
Okay.
and then I bought a Nighthawk 250, which was a Emax Nighthawk 250, and built them pretty much the exact same. And then I went into actually bought, what was it? Oh, the Nick Miller from MQC, their Mini Quad Club. He actually used to sell frames way back in the day before like MQC became like MQC what it is known today.
Mm-hmm.
He used to do a lot of reviews and stuff like that, and he used to sell frames from this guy named Christian, I think it was, in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a company called Bird's Eye. And I had a Wasp 6-inch. When I saw that frame, I was like, man, that was the gnarliest looking thing ever. And it was a 6-inch frame. Ran 2208 Cobra 2000 kV motors.
Oh my
with
God.
12 amp Lumineer ESE.
How many ESC fires did you have?
None. It was
None?
amazing. Yeah, I mean, I took that knowledge and I was like, oh yeah, that 12 amp can handle that, 2218 motor. Sure, no problem.
Wow.
No, but no, never. Honestly, no, it was not the Lumineer ESEs. It was the Rotor Geeks.
Rotor Geeks,
yeah, Rotor Geeks 12 amps. And I flew that thing. A buddy of mine, he was like, "Oh, you can't do 8 corkscrews and then pull out." I did 6, and this is like when we're all still learning and stuff. And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Dude, just commit. You got this. You got this." And here I am, like, "Yeah, I'm committing." 8 right into the ground. I like dug a circle. So I took a picture of the twisted frame.
Oh my God.
Sent it to Nick. I was like, "Hey man, you got any parts for this thing?" And he's like, no. What in the hell happened?
Oh man.
That's crazy. Good
So
times.
then that was 2014-ish.
2000, rolling into 2015. Yeah.
When do you think you started posting flight videos and things like that?
Pretty much from the beginning when I had the QAV 250. Even with like we were running like Mobius cameras and the old long style run cam cameras and stuff like that. Pretty much whenever we would go out and fly, I would post something.
Yeah.
Like I had maybe like 2 followers, like 2 people that subbed to my channel. And I was like, I was just sharing it out. I was just proud. It was for me, it was kind of like seeing what I could do next. I did this and I did this video, and it actually came in from doing that. It just kind of came in like second nature. Like, of course, like editing goes hand in hand with mini quads and wings and, whatever you're doing video for and stuff like that. So it just kind of, I've learned more tricks on how to edit and stuff like that. And just kind of putting things together that way. But yeah, I mean, it may have been like the shittiest non-tuned quad ever, but I'm putting the video out.
Right. And so the time period at this point, like Sharpoo was starting to gain traction, and this is before a lot, like the heyday of 2016.
Yeah.
So what do you think, since that time period until now, what do you think, like how for the, because there's a lot of people that are new to the sport, new to the hobby, right? That are just getting in now. They've got these flight controllers with software that's freaking magical, and they don't understand what you mean when you say you got to get a good tune. Like, tell me what it was like flying those older quads.
It was horrible. It was straight horrible. The worst thing ever was freaking was Open Pilot. I mean, because we were flying CC3D boards.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean that was like the go-to board to have. That was they had Acro Plus. Like, who didn't love that? You know,
Not just Acro, but Acro Plus.
Acro Plus.
Plus.
Yeah, that sold it, man. And if it had that Lumineer logo on there, boy, that choker went up $50. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it went. You know, everybody was like, "Oh, you got to have the Nace Rev 5," and you know, that it flies right out of the box. And just tuning to us back then, we were just trying to figure out how to fly these things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think a lot of people were at the time. It wasn't sure. It was, you know, a lot of like Sharpoo and these guys are out there trying to figure out how to make it better and stuff like that. But the firmware and the boards were good for the time. But if you look back from now to then, straight garbage. Was just straight garbage. I mean, these guys coming into the hobby now like are clueless to how good they have it. But I will also say this. Betaflight now, you would almost have to have a college degree to try to figure out RPM filters.
Oh
and
my
all.
God.
Oh, it's like, what in the world, man? Like, where's the class? Where do I got to sign up at?
Well, you know, it's funny because there was a, was it towards the end of 2016, beginning of 2017, you put out a how-to video on Betaflight and a how-to on the ESC stuff.
The BL Heli configurator.
BL Heli, yeah, the BL Heli configurator. And I remember watching those, and I was just like, holy cow, like this is, okay, now I understand things. And I've plugged a quad up recently to Betaflight and BL Heli to get a few things done. I go look at the tabs for like all the filters and the tuning, and I'm just like, and I'm no novice, right?
Right.
I'm like, what the hell is this?
Exactly. Like,
right?
What
like,
in the world is really going on here?
And then like, you know, you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to experiment a little bit. So you like slide something one notch, and then you take it outside and you fly it. And it flies like it flies like a completely different craft.
Yeah,
it's unreal.
Absolutely. It was funny you say that BL Heli video. So we had and this might transfer over. We actually had a local group called Drone on FPV that I started a ways back, and we'll get into that here in a second. But I had so many people hit me up like, you know, how do you flash ESCs, or how do you calibrate your ESCs, or how do you do this, or how do you do this? I literally had 15 minutes before I had to be to work, and it was dark in my kitchen, you know, and I'm like, you know what? My computer's right there. My quad's right there. I got a battery. Let me just take my phone and throw a video together real quick to show this guy how to do this, post it on YouTube as I'm going to work, and I sent him the link. And I think that thing's got like 12,000 views or something like that, or maybe more than that, like 20,000.
It's got in the tens of thousands of views.
It's crazy, and then so many people are like comments like, "That is the most straight to the point, freaking," and thank you so much, you know. But I was like, what? Like,
what did I do?
Yeah, that was just it. I think I even called it like Drone on FPV, you know, calibration or something like that, just specifically for the local guys to help them out, you know. And it just kind of went haywire. But and then I wound up doing a more professional style one for the actual configurator that you can download, standalone configurator, and that one actually still has traction and does really well. And I still get hit up, you know, daily on that as far as questions and stuff like that. So it's helping a lot of people, man, and that's what it's all about. So
yeah. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of the Rob Garland episodes. I'd like to thank Rob for being on. I know it is not easy to put yourself in front of the camera, and he did so well, and he spoke well in about things that were difficult, I could tell, for him and for our local community. This, you know, there's a lot of wounds there that could have been opened up, but I don't think they will be. Rob is, like I said, a great friend. He's done so much for me, and it was a delight and a joy to have him on the show to tell his story, to share with you guys who he is. Go check out his channel. It's in the link description below. And thank you, Rob. Once again, final plug. If you'd like to be a patron, the link is in the description below. I really appreciate it. And I love all my patrons. Thank you. You guys keep me going. Anyways, that is it for this one. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. And I'll see you soon. Bye.